In this video, we'll be using the transform command. On the pull-down menu, one of the choices is Recode, and we can recode into the same variable, which we almost never want to do, and recode into a different variable. The reason we want to do this is because we want to save the original data, and we want to transform the data into a new variable so that we have both the original and the new data in the same file. Before doing the actual recoding, let's explore why we need to do this recoding. Specifically, we're going to look at the variable age, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a frequency table for the age variable. For this, let's go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies. Let's put age from the left panel to the right, and let's not bother with any statistics. Let's just do the frequency table and let's see what shows up. Here's the output screen. This table is simply too big for presentation in a formal paper. What we want to do is collapse all of these ages into a smaller number of categories that will fit easily on one page. Before I get ahead of myself, let me explain this file. Just as I have sent each of you a random sample of 500 respondents from the voter file we've been using in class, I sent myself a random sample of 500 respondents. That is the file that's in front of you now. You can see that the researchers who constructed this file have already done recoding. They have collapsed these ages into 4 different age categories. Let's reconstruct that process and show you what the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 represent. We start on the transform menu. We scroll down to Recode, and in this version the recode command is into different variables and the same variables. Here we go, different. What we want to do is we want to take age, we want to move it from the left panel to the right. We have to give it a new name. Remember, we only have to change one character to make this a new name. So I'm going to call it AgeCat1. AgeCat1. Now I've got to tell it what are the old values and what are the new values. I click on this button and up comes the old and new values screen. Now, we know from the previous exercise that the youngest person in this sample is 22. We want the first class to start at 22. What the researchers did was they ended the first class at 34. They gave anyone in the age group 22 to 34 the value of 1. Then, anyone from 35 to 44, they gave the value of 2. Anyone from 45 through 64, they gave the value 3. And finally, anybody who is 65 or older is given the value of 4. Now, before I go further, remember, these are mutually exclusive categories. That's an important consideration when you're doing this procedure. Now I'm going to continue. Okay, we've now told the program what variable to input, what variable to output, and we now want to tell it to make the change. So we click the change button and watch what happens here in this column. After I click OK. Here are the age categories which correspond to the age categories that the other researchers did. So now we have recoded the age variable into 4 age categories. Let's go back to the frequencies command and see how we have simplified the presentation of the frequency table. There it is. You only have 4 rows. You have your total row here, which is the 5th row. These columns here we can explain later. The point is right now that we have taken this rather unwieldy table of ages and transformed those data into a manageable set of categories. Okay, that's the recode into different variables example for the variable age. You'll notice the researchers did the same thing for education. They took the number of years of education respondents had and placed them also into categories. I believe in this case there are 5 categories starting at 0 and then going through 1, 2, 3, and 4. We won't go into this. We'll simply say that this is the comparable procedure for education as we've just done for age. Now that we have 4 numbers representing age categories rather than all these 500 ages or however many ages there are, in the next video we'll show you how we can label what these numbers represent. Again, stay tuned.